And this is the last time, I'm telling you! No, but honestly, I know you're just at your fucking limit with these websites now if you clicked on this video. Or at least I'm assuming you probably are. I don't know. My friend, I'm here to tell you that I have a solution for you, and it's a glorious one at that. My friend, that solution is the indie web. And, well, this is Premiere, but if we go to the indie web. This is just my website. This is something I've been working on for 4 years now because I started it in July of 2021. But it has made me realize a lot of things about the internet that I like and that I don't like. And I kind of want to go over that in this video, and also how you can get involved in joining this whole NeoCities, Neko Web, free internet, indie internet, whatever you want to call it, community, and get your own website going. So if you're an artist online, I just want to ask you a few things before we get into the whole, if you're a creative on social media, let me ask you if any of this sounds familiar. Worrying for hours on end about what to draw that will perform well, constantly fearing that you can't match the quality of your peers' work, limiting what you make out of fear of it, leaving your target audience. None of this is any fun, and I can tell you it's definitely not good for nurturing creativity. But it's the dilemma that millions of artists face right now, and I can tell you that for a long time I was one of them. It was certainly not fun, and it definitely led to burnout several times, several excruciating times. I feel like something powerful a lot of artists need to realize is that you don't need to feel like you're obligated to use these systems in order to be successful as an artist. Like, I know for a long time I felt like I was obligated to using these systems to be successful, and I felt, looking back now, it was holding me back, honestly, because I feel even more fulfilled working on something like my website than I am posting any of my art to Twitter or, Instagram, maybe Newgrounds, but, Anyway, the main point I'm making is, you don't need to rely on these social media monoliths to be successful online, alright? Like, people didn't need those social media monoliths to become successful. I mean, Facebook didn't become a thing by making a MySpace account, and Twitter didn't become a thing by making a Facebook account. The point I'm making is that you can be the next thing, or you can have your own space. You don't need to rely on these websites. Anyway, all of that brings me to the indie web. On the indie web, things have returned to how I feel they always should have been, where it's one site that's completely static, made by one person, or just like a small team, and it's about a very niche thing, or entirely about the person. And what I mean by that is, if you go to someone's website, you can immediately get a vibe for how the person is, or how the brand is, or you know what I mean. Like, it's very emblematic of that figure. Another thing I really like about the indie web is that on these websites you will find Webrings, and basically what that is an interconnected network of websites curated by the person that made that host website. And so basically what that means is that you go to one website with a Webring, you basically have like a whole spider's web of other websites you can go down. And yeah, you go down one website, they usually have a Webring, you go down there, you go surfing down the internet. That's what we used to call it back in the day, before the internet became one Walmart swimming pool. I mean, you can't go swimming in a Walmart swimming pool, can you? It's ridiculous. And of course, this goes without saying, but your site could be about literally anything. I mean, like, literally anything. Like, I just clicked on a site that was about the meme Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Smash Bros. for Wii U. But there's even more sites like this where it's just about, like, whatever, like, completely just whatever. Like, there is a website dedicated to reviewing every single Game Boy Advance game that has ever come out. And I think the author is on, like, number maybe 300 at this point. No, not even. I was way off. They're on 92. Just goes to show that, like, yeah, there's a website for literally probably everything, because people are into a lot of things. And if you were around for the cool era, of Tofokyo.com, you'll remember that you can even have a TV channel on your website. Now, if anyone's watching and they want to see that come back, please donate to my Patreon. That would be very cool. I can't do it on this PC anymore, man. Blue screen. Now, I don't have it anymore. I really wanted to show it, but I couldn't find it. I used to have this blue composite notebook that I used in middle school to learn HTML. Like, I would literally hand write the code for websites that I wanted to make in that book as I was learning. And I wanted to show it off because I remembered I doodled like Undertale characters like Alphys and Flowey in it. And just saying that made me realize that Undertale came out in 2015, which is 10 years ago now. And good God, Jesus. Anyway, as for learning HTML, W3 schools, that's the GOAT. That's my GOAT. Don't use Code Academy nowadays because it's a shitty subscription model. I remember they used to do it for free, but now it's subscription. I learned it in middle school for free, but now it's a subscription. Just goes to show why people want to switch to the indie web. I wouldn't really suggest anything like Squarespace or Wix or anything that's like a website drag and drop creator or anything like that. Those are fine, I guess, but I much prefer it whenever you're, down in the trenches doing it yourself, Now, something very important to keep in mind is that, like any other skill or hobby, this is a journey, guys. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your website's not going to be completely finished. Maybe for a year or two, or not even, because I wouldn't consider my website finished, and it's been 4 years. But yeah, at the start, it's not going to be very detailed, and I wouldn't keep it very ambitious at the very beginning. I would keep it simple and down to a few elements. Put some info about yourself. Have a little blog if you want to write. Do some writings, or maybe a gallery if you're an artist and you want to put your artwork up. That would be pretty cool. But I would start small, and then once you have that foundation, I would work from there. Because then, it's a lot less daunting whenever you have something small to start off with and then you're able to build on top of it rather than having to build a whole utopia from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So, in closing, I want to say I really hope I inspired at least one person to go out and make a website, because that just means there's more cool indie sites for people to go look at, even if it's just by one. And you know what? Mission accomplished. I also want to say I completely disagree with the argument that, the internet's dead internet theory. The internet's limited to only these 5 sites. And I know I kind of pandered that argument at the beginning of the video, or strawmanned it or whatever. But now guys, if you ask me, I want to say it's looking a lot more like the alive internet theory if you look on the indie web. Because there are just so many sites made by real people passionate about the most specific things that you'd never even expect, and they just gush into it in so much detail, and it's just awesome to read about how passionate someone is about a specific subject. And so, I don't know, to me, it just makes me happy that 20 years after what people considered the golden era of the internet, you can still find the exact sites being made today about things that are coming out today that people said we're only finding in the golden era. You get what I'm saying? The internet's not dead, man. So yeah, I hope I convinced you to make a website, or at least check out and bookmark some indie web pages. And yeah, fuck Facebook, fuck Elon, fuck Mark Zuckerberg, fuck